this matters a lot to me. And over the course of my life, the very successful people I've been lucky enough to be associated with all share this quality. All of them. What is the quality? Did they go to a great school? No. Did they have rich parents? No. Were they all this, that? No. There is a quality. Boy, did I see it when I saw Tom Brady in person. It just jumps out. The quality, I'm going to let you hear, Caleb Williams, quarterback for the Bears, clearly has it. His teammate, Kevin Beard, is a safety for the Bears. And he was on a Chicago radio station. And he was talking about one of the messages that Caleb Williams said. He went front and center in the locker room, and he demanded something from his teammates. And a lot of you guys won't get this because it's what a lot of you guys are. But this is a great, great quality. Go ask Larry Fitzgerald how much film he watched. Or Cooper Kupp, Calvin Johnson. It's just not they run real fast. Details. Caleb Williams, living in the moment. Locker room's a mess. It's too sloppy. Let's help the janitorial people. Considerate of others. The opposite of narcissism. Let's clean up our workplace. I always say this. Go to a restaurant. If the restrooms are dirty, what does the kitchen look like? When I had to hire an accountant, an entertainment accountant in Los Angeles, I was given 3 people. The one I hired is the one I have. The coffees, the chocolates, the sodas were lined up. It's the cleanest workspace I've ever seen. Grant Nyman's his name. It's why I hired him, and he's been amazing. It matters. I told my kids, sloppy bedroom, cluttered mind. Get it right. Caleb Williams, conscientious. Dak Prescott, rookie year, week 11. They're winning a game. This shouldn't matter. But I talked about this for weeks. All I got was pushback. He throws a little cup behind him on the bench, and it doesn't go into the garbage. It's no big deal, right? He makes a point of grabbing it, being conscientious. I mean, if he didn't pick it up, somebody else has to, and putting it in the garbage. It's a little thing. It matters. He has been in Dallas, not the best arm, not the best athlete. He's an incredibly conscientious player. If you look at the great quarterbacks, they're meticulous. They're precise. Breeze, Manning, Brady. Precision. This is what quarterback is. It is about precision. Sloppy quarterbacks, let it rip. Don't watch that much film. I'll get it up the field somewhere. Don't work. That's why I've always said Brett Favre would not age as well today. He's too sloppy, too ad-lib, making stuff up. He'd be talented, but he wouldn't be precise, and that's the difference. I love Josh Allen, but he's not always precise, not always great with the details without Brian Daboll. He's not winning the big games. That's the league, inches, not feet. And so Dak in that moment, when I talked about it, people say, it doesn't matter. When Tom Brady came here and sat on set, I've only been around Tom twice. Once he didn't see me. This time he did. The first takeaway I have on Tom Brady is his dress is organized. His speech is organized. The way he thinks and compartmentalizes thoughts is organized. It reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning when I've talked to him, buttoned up. So what Caleb Williams is saying is, hey, guys, it's a mess. The little stuff matters. Pick up the water bottles, the towels. Also, let's help the people around us. If we don't pick it up, somebody else has to. Little stuff, signs, precision, details. It's a meticulous position. Name anything other than astronaut where 3 to 4 seconds and rapid decisions are the difference between success and failure. That's the position. On target, on time, particular. It is the Department of Weights and Measures, and I just love this.
Okay. Let's unpack this. I have a lot of thoughts, and I even came prepared with some other clips that I really want to show you all. Now, let me just start off at the top. by saying that I've consistently said that I think Caleb Williams will be a great quarterback in the NFL. I have said that for months now. I think Caleb Williams will be on pace to be a top quarterback in the NFL. So there's no question about that. And I'm a huge fan of what he did there, of what he said in terms of, being conscientious and helping out the custodian staff and just treating people well, cleaning up. A huge fan of that. That is how I personally try my best to operate in any given moment. Right? I try my best. Obviously, I'm not perfect, but I try to do that. I respect people that are like that. And I even love hearing stories like this and having it popularized because it does matter. It matters because it can have potential to influence other people and especially kids. It does. It's a real effect. If you can remember what it was like when you were 10 and you were looking up to athletes, like you pick up all the little things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I want to see good people succeed. I think just in sports, in the world in general, but just especially in sports, we see so many bad people succeed. We see people that are fundamentally not good people get fortune and fame and just such insane levels of success. And it bums me out sometimes. It really does. And I like to see good people succeed. And I do believe that Caleb Williams is a good person. So I do love to hear this. Can't emphasize that enough. But let's be real here. Let's not act. And don't get me wrong, stuff like this can contribute to success. I'm not going to say that it's completely irrelevant, but it is not an indicator of someone being successful or that all successful people have this trait. That's just insane. That is utter insanity. That is romanticized because Tom Brady is well dressed. His brand is his physical appearance. What are we talking about? His brand is his physical appearance at this point of him aging backwards and being, forever young. That's his brand. His brand is to be buttoned up. So that's fine. But we know that doesn't always lead to success. Did it lead, and this isn't a dig at Tom Brady, but did it lead to a successful marriage? No. So it's just like this idea that this is the way it goes. We can look at, very massive billionaires. Right? Just look at old video pictures of Jeff Bezos. He was completely disgruntled, not clean shaven, sloppily dressed. Bill Gates, right? It wasn't until they became mega billionaires that now it's very easy. Once you're very successful, it's very easy to be very clean cut and conscientious even. Not all of them become that, but they definitely, it's a lot easier. My house, where I live would be spotless. Any of my apartments in the past would be spotless if I was very wealthy, because I would just pay people to clean it. I'd buy new clothes all the time. I wouldn't have them get so, worn down and dingy because I could just afford it. So let's be chill here. Mark Cuban famously was eating mustard sandwiches and living on floors as he was becoming a billionaire. So it wasn't him being super organized and neat and clean that led him to become a billionaire. So, and we did this, and Colin actually did a story about this a couple years ago. I forget how long ago, but with Malik Willis, and said, because there was a great story, and again, I love that it was popularized. I love it. But that he came out and, was caught helping like a homeless woman. And Colin said, that guy's going to be successful in the NFL. That's a big deal. And I think he did the same thing with Dak Prescott, showing him throwing away trash. And now Malik Willis is like the third, a QB3, I think. I think he's a third string quarterback at this point, hanging on by a thread in the NFL. And again, I want to emphasize, I love to to highlight these stories and to popularize them and emphasize them. I do. But it's not necessarily an indicator that you're going to be great. And I have actually arguably, and I have two examples of this actually. One is personal and one is with a world famous, most successful F1 driver of all time in Lewis Hamilton. You don't have to be an F1 fan, okay? But F1 is insane precision. Colin said, in what profession, outside of being an astronaut, does 3 or 4 seconds make a difference? In F1, literally, not even a joke, 1,000th of a second, makes a difference. 1,000th of a millisecond makes a difference between life and death. These guys are going over 200 miles per hour, going wheel to wheel. Colin always says this is a game of inches, not feet. In the NFL, he talks about that. This is the tiniest little millimeter of a difference. It's the difference between getting in a massive wreck and never walking again and winning a Grand Prix. So it's insane. And you have Lewis Hamilton, who is essentially the GOAT of the sport. Again, he's the Michael Jordan. He's not even the LeBron James. He's like the literal Michael Jordan or LeBron James, depending on who you think is better. But he is just so iconic. And he's super conscientious, which I've always said I think is fake. He's a vegan and he cares about the animals. But again, it always seems so fake to me and inauthentic because this is what people do. They try to put, they try to be something that they think that they should be, or what people want to think. And then look at this video. I saw this. This happened just the other day. And I watch it and it stands out to me because it does. I do care about this stuff. But it doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. This is after he just won a race. He just got first place. And he or he might have gotten second place. Whatever. He's on the podium, and so now this is what's called the cool down room, and it's just a way to film these guys after the race, and you hear them talk. They don't really say much of interest, but watch what he does. There's some trash that he just throws onto the ground. Just watch. You'll see him. Look. See? Just drops it on the ground. Drops it. This guy has more records in F1. Just throws it on the ground. Boop. You're talking about one of the most successful athletes, one of the highest paid athletes, in one of the most crucially, the tiniest little detail. The detail in F1 is insane. It's absolutely insane. If the track temperature or the tires drop like 0.4 of a degree, it matters. Like it is, you're talking about the tiniest margins here. And he just threw the trash on the ground. Threw it on the ground. So this idea that conscientiousness leads to success, it's just not accurate. My dad, my parents are two of the most conscientious people I've ever known, without a doubt, right? They are not millionaires and billionaires. Life has been, for the most part, kind of unkind to them, quite honestly. We won't get into that. It just doesn't lead. There's plenty of people. I know some of the most amazing people who are super conscientious and do all this stuff, and they don't have high levels of success. I also have plenty of people who, my one friend growing up, he's an incredibly nice person, and I would say he's conscientious, but his house and his car are two of the most disgusting things I've ever been in. Yet the guy's like Mr. Magoo and just is constantly walking into successful situations, getting job opportunities, money, whatever it may be. His father, also not the cleanest person under the sun, wildly successful, consistently making great money and making great financial decisions. So it's just, I love when we try to like tie these things and make it matter. Like they did that with Bo Nix, where they said Bo Nix had a backpack and all he did was have a playbook and a lacrosse ball to crack his back. That means he's focused. And it's like, well, yeah, because all of his distractions are on his phone. I mean, you don't need anything else but your phone. You can literally, as long as you have your phone, you have every distraction under the sun. So yeah, in your backpack, all you do is need like a bottle of water and a lacrosse ball. Like what else do you need? Like, what did you think he was going to bring with him? Like a PlayStation and an Xbox? Like, what are we talking about here? So we always love to emphasize things that don't actually matter. And again, at the end of the day, I would want my quarterback to be conscientious. I do want him to be buttoned up like a Tom Brady, well-spoken at the mic. I love to see Dak pick up trash. But also, that's also kind of the bare minimum. Like, what are we talking about? You try to throw out trash and it doesn't go in the trash can, and we're like, you're kind of a bad person if you don't now get up and put it in there. Like if you just leave it there, that's like, I kind of question you then. So it is kind of funny. It's like, can you believe he looked both ways when he crossed the street? Can you believe he said thank you every time he gets his food from the restaurant? It's like, that's just like normal fundamental behavior, which I do concede a lot of people don't have. I've worked a lot of jobs where I was waiting on other people, where people would just like, I'll go through an entire exchange of like money, giving them a ticket, they give me money, all this type of stuff. They give me their card and they don't say hi. They don't say thank you. They don't say, how are you doing? They don't say anything. I'll be like, hey, how are you? No answer. And then they're like $5. They give me the money. I give them the receipt, change, all that. And I say, all right, have a great day. And then they just keep going, right? Like that is a real thing that happens. And I'm always hyper aware of it. But I guarantee you I've waited on a lot of people who were not very nice and probably have way more success and money than I'll ever have. So it's just, people always love to act like these little things make a big difference, and I just don't believe it. In my own like acting and modeling career that I have, and fitness career that I've had, one of my first jobs I ever had, I actually did a whole campaign for the fitness brand Champion. It was like a whole workout thing, kind of centered on me, which was a really awesome experience. I'm not saying this to brag; it's a legitimate, relevant story. And you have wardrobe, and I'm, getting changed, and you're kind of constantly going in and out of different clothing and stuff like that. And I, when I took off like my clothes and my stuff, that was their wardrobe. I took it off and I like folded it and, put it on, kind of like a chair or table wherever I was, getting dressed. And the person who was in charge of wardrobe, she came out and was like, "Did you fold that?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I've been doing this for like 20 years and the talent," that's what you refer to as a talent. She's like, I've been here for, I've been doing this for 15 years. And she's like, and I've never had talent, not once, fold, the shirt, fold any of the outfits. And I was like, oh, like, because I am thinking of them. I don't want to just crumble it in a ball and throw it on the ground. I am a conscientious person. It did not lead me to have significant success. Like I said, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not making bank. I'm not wilding out. Everything I do does not turn to gold. I've had a tremendous amount of failures in my life. Okay, so this idea, I'm a very conscientious person. I'm always very clean. I will never just throw trash on the ground. If I play basketball outside of this one place and there's always trash around there, and I will always like pick up a couple pieces and throw it in the bin. So it's like I do those things, but success just does not follow me wherever I go. So again, when we ever want to emphasize points like this, it just kind of makes me laugh. I'm happy we emphasize these things, but let's not glorify and act like it leads to success, because success comes in so many different ways and so many different avenues and so many different paths. Just look at Joe Rogan. I would not say that, he's like the most cleanest, cuttest person in the world. He shoots from the hip. He's more Josh Allen and Brett Favre, and yet that got him to the most successful podcast in the history of the world, right? So it's just, there's just different directions and different paths for people to find their success. And a lot of times these people always want to try to say, well, this is why I was successful. They always want to act like there's something that they've done or in their past, like, this is why I'm successful. This is what happened. And this is what it is. And the reality is it's most likely just a bunch of nonsense. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think the fact that Caleb Williams is conscientious is going to help him, and about the fact that he wants to keep the locker room clean and all of that is an indicator of just how great he will be? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.